Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the weather and an early winter storm that is impacting parts of southern Manitoba. Here is a live look at downtown Winnipeg. The snow is falling here too. It has been for some time. Look at that snow blowing tonight. Streets are snow covered and icy. Southeast Manitoba and northwest Ontario are expecting significant amounts of snow. We'll get you up to date on highway closures in a moment, but first let's go to meteorologist John Sauder, who is tracking all of this for us tonight. John, what is the latest?
Well, thanks, Riley. Yeah, this would not be a very good night to be out on highways in any of these shaded areas to the white. So the extreme southern part of the province, as far west as Killarney and right out to the Ontario border, this is where we could see 10 to 20 centimeters tonight. By Friday morning, upwards of 25 centimeters in the southeast corner of the province and into northwestern Ontario. Also coupled with this, very, very strong winds and poor visibility. I'll be back in a few minutes to show you when conditions will improve.
All right, thank you, John. Highways south and east of Winnipeg are reporting snow and ice-covered conditions and poor visibility tonight. As I mentioned, we have seen some highway closures already as well because of the weather. Highway 1, the Trans-Canada, is closed from St. Anne to Haddishville, that is east of Winnipeg. Highway 12 closed from Steinbach to the U.S. border, and Highway 52 is closed both east and west of Steinbach. All right, let's get you caught up on some of the other news of the day now. And for weeks, the province has said a plan is coming to address the staffing crisis and ER wait times in our healthcare system. Today, it unveiled what it calls a bold plan. Here's some of the highlights. Manitoba will hire 2,000 new healthcare professionals. That plan will cost $200 million. It hangs on three main pillars: retaining, training, and recruiting more healthcare workers. More now from CBC's Ian Fraze.
The prescription for Manitoba's hospitals looks bleak. Wait time is measured in hours, even a whole day. A children's hospital in crisis, but today the government took steps to fix it.
I do feel that what we've brought forward today is bold, and it's innovative, and it addresses the needs that we heard from physicians, nurses, and allied health and support staff.
Her government responded with 30 proposals. Most of the ideas are new. To keep existing staff, pay incentives for working in the ER, working weekends, and getting shifts in extremely remote locations. Nurses who work full-time will also get a pay bump. As well, ERs will get more peace officers, and the province will offer incentives for doctors' offices and community clinics that expand their hours. It's hoped these measures will put an end to mandatory overtime. Regional health authorities will come up with the plan. On the subject of training, Manitoba will expand its program that allows third and fourth year nursing students to work in hospitals. Retired and internationally educated nurses will get the same opportunity. On recruitment, Manitoba will give financial incentives to recently retired and agency nurses who move to the public system, and it'll give working nurses a rebate on their tuition. What's missing is how much these incentives will cost and the timelines.
We do have some rough figures. We have been talking with the union and Doctors Manitoba about figures, and we just need to finalize those.
Meanwhile, tonight, some healthcare workers are feeling left out. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals say they were not consulted. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meantime, a Winnipeg virologist says it is time to put on your mask in indoor public settings once again. The University of Manitoba's Riley Laychuk says we can't ignore the rising number of viral infections, particularly in children. She says COVID, influenza, rhinovirus, and now RSV are circulating widely.
We are just starting the fall season. We are going into winter where people are going to be more inside. We are going to see a more uptake of the flu virus. So we really need to bring back the transmission to a lower level.
Laychuk warns if Manitobans don't do something to slow the spread of viruses in the community, we will be in big trouble by mid-December. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers from the province's weekly report. This takes us to November the 5th. Another 24 Manitobans died due to the disease. 110 people were admitted to hospital with COVID-19 during that last week, slightly down from the week before. 8 people with COVID-19 were admitted to intensive care units. A national conservation group says it now owns one of the biggest privately owned chunks of tallgrass prairie in Manitoba. Lake Ranch in the Arm of Woodlands is nearly 2,700 hectares. That is almost as big as Birds Hill Park. The Nature Conservancy of Canada calls it an endangered Manitoba ecosystem. It contains intact tallgrass prairie, forest and wetlands. More than 112 bird species, including 11 shorebirds, have been spotted there and at adjacent lakes. Two Yazidi sisters have been reunited with their 13-year-old brother from Iraq. After 5 years in ISIS captivity and 2 years in a refugee camp, Ayed Al-Hussein is finally in Winnipeg. We were there when the family was reunited.
I feel great. It's a great honor to be here and to welcome this little boy, and we hope to spend more and more time here at the airport welcoming other families and reuniting more families. It's wonderful to be here.
It took nearly 3 years for a 13-year-old boy to get him reunited with his really only other family, two sisters here in Winnipeg. So we're excited, we're hopeful, and we're going to keep doing everything we can to reunite more families.
We're not giving up.
As we head to break, here is a look at the satellite and radar. Meteorologist John Sauder will be back next to time out all of this snowfall for us and show us when things could clear up. Stay with us. We are back in just a moment.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. 22 model clear-out is on now.
Well, you can see here on Futurecast behind me that conditions are going to improve as we get into Friday. And I'll put things in motion here as we see the forecast model showing the snow in the southeast. But by Friday morning, not only does the snow move off to the east, the winds start to drop off as well. Today, gusting to 60 or 70 kilometers per hour in that heavy snow along the international border. So this is Friday morning. May even see some sunny breaks on Friday afternoon, and then more cloud builds in as we get into Saturday, which is really a sun-cloud mix on Saturday. Also, something to keep in mind, even as conditions improve on Friday, highways in those areas will still be snowpacked and quite slippery. So some blowing snow, winds down to about 30 to 40 overnight, and then down further to 20, gusting to 25 in the morning. And our high tomorrow just -6. May even see a few breaks in the cloud and might need the sunglasses for the first time in a while. And then in the long range, it's a dry weather pattern. We're looking at temperatures through Remembrance Day at -6, and that kind of temperature right on through the weekend and on into next week, when we could see more flurries or light snow on Wednesday.
All right, thanks, John. Before we go tonight, if you are unable to attend a Remembrance Day service in person tomorrow, but still want to commemorate it, we do have a couple of options for you. CBC Manitoba will live stream the service at the RBC Convention Centre. That one begins at 10:50 on our website, cbc.ca/Manitoba, or on our YouTube channel. In Ottawa, Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton hosts coverage from the National War Memorial. That starts at 9 our time on CBC News Network or on the main network here at 10 a.m. And that is your late news for this Thursday. Be safe if you have to be out on the roads tonight or first thing in the morning tomorrow. Janet Stewart will be here at 6, and I will see you again on Monday. Have a great evening and be safe.